All right, so everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David, and this learning is which should be for a schus for our chayalim, and this should be bring a refuah to those that need a refuah. Ay nebuch. How many of them? We have the hospitals are full. Ay nebuch, nebuch, nebuch.
Hostages.
And the hostages should be brought back safely. Oh, the hostages. Oh, and then all those neshamas that the karbanis should have an aliyah. Ay nebuch. Ay. All right. Anyway, let's go. We're going to learn, and it's amazing how what we're learning is really it fits into what's really going on. We're learning the concept. We started on Hoshana Rabbah. This idea we're learning based on lesson Samach Zayin in Likutey Moran Tinyana, the second book. So I'll just give a little preview because I wasn't here, so we'll just talk a little bit outside. So the Rebbe starts off by saying that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has his name Yud Kei Vav Kei, which knows the Shem of Rachamim, right? There's 4 letters, and he discusses how you get to the 4. How do you get to the 4 letters? Through the spheres. He explains. So he explains that it goes that you start out with Chabad, Chesed, right? Chochma Bina Das, and then the Das manifests itself into turning into Chesed and Gevura, right? And then that's connected to the shin on the tefillin that we have the 3, which is the shin with the 3 prongs is the Chochma Bina Das, and then when it turns into the Chesed Gevura, Chochma Bina Chesed Gevura, that's the 4-prong shin. Okay, all right, okay, that's one thing. And then he says he connected it also to the 4 colors in our eyes. I like that, huh? Did you know you have 4 colors in your eyes? No. All right, so he explains. We have the white part of our eye, we know, right? Okay, we also have a color in our eye, right? And we have the black line that goes around, and the pupil. All right, so there's the, right? All of our, right? 4 colors. You could find 4 colors. The 4 colors are also connected to the 4 quadrants of the brain, right? The 2 front and the 2 back, right? Right? So the eyes are connected to, right, all these 4. See that? It's amazing. Rav Nosson always, and the Rebbe always is making these connections. And that's why we have 4 parashias in our tefillin, 4 boxes on the rosh, right? We can keep going, right? Okay. Then the Rebbe says something very amazing. He says that the word Bereshis is, he takes the word and he says the word is actually Rosh Bayis. Rosh Bayis. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Rosh Bayis. He's the Rosh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Rosh, right? And then he introduces this concept of Ma'irei Or and Ma'irei Eish. It's a long lesson. I'm just giving you parts of the lesson. There's 10 parts to that lesson. It's a few pages. It's a long lesson, but I'm just giving you some parts of the lesson that we need for this. So there's Ma'irei Or and there's Ma'irei Eish. Ma'irei Or is any art in the world that anything that works on revealing that the Rebbeinu Shalom is the Rosh Bayis of the world, right? So that's Ma'irei Or. That's the light. It's a fire, but it's a warming fire. It's a fire that gives us light, right? But then fire also can be very destructive, as we see going around the country here, right? Fire can be very, very destructive. So the Rebbe explains that whenever the Ma'irei Or is not powerful, the Ma'irei Eish takes over.
Which is the destructive.
The destructive force. He says, so how do you fix that? You have to lift up the Ma'irei Or, reveal the Rosh Bayis in the world, and that's how we have the expression that you say you fight fire with fire. Right? So you need to fight fire with fire. I believe that's where the expression came from, right? Or maybe it didn't, but let's say it came from there, all right? We'll call it from there, okay? Is that fair enough to say? Right? You have to use the productive fire to counter and to combat against the destructive fires. Okay? So far, so good. Anything that you do in the world to reveal the Rosh Bayis, that is productive, and that combats against the destructive fires. Right? All right, any questions? No questions? We're on Bais. We're gonna do Bais today. I just gave you a preview of Aleph and a little bit of the Torah, so then we'll start with Bais. Okay?
Thank God.
Huh?
This is like a review. We did this in Chevron.
We did this in Chevron. So
I need the review. Thank
we'll
you.
review it. We can review it all the time. All these lessons.
Right.
We're in lesson 7. No. I get no. So you could read Aleph. Okay, Aleph has a lot of the parts that I just said in it. I just gave you. Now we're going to do Bais. We're in Zion. Hilchas. Okay, we're in Likutey Halachos Hilchas Tefillin Halachas Zion, which is the final halacha in Hilchas Tefillin in Likutey Halachos. All right, there are 10 parts to this lesson. There are 10 letters in this lesson also.
Okay.
There are 10 or 12. I don't remember. I think there are 10. I think that there are 10. Let's just see. No, sorry, there are 13. Sorry. You're giving me the Sarachna. Okay. So now let's do, okay, everyone have the place base too? Yep. Okay, v'chol zeh. All this that we just mentioned outside, that we were talking about, which is the revealing the Ma'irei Ar in the world, revealing the Ma'irei Ar again, the Roish bias. The Yeshua Hashem is in charge, right? We know we can't control. We don't rely on our government because we see how our government failed us, right? All these the ministers and ministers and ministers and ministers. Where were they? Right? We're the Shin Bet. Where were they? Right? They failed us. We have to rely on the Rebbe Islam. That's it. If this doesn't prove it, what does? What does?
Right.
Unbelievable. Okay. So that we have to work on being Megala the Ma'irei Ar. We have to and revealing that it's the Rebbeinu Shalom in the world. And Jews can daven wherever they want to daven, with a mechitza, the way they're supposed to daven, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I get very passionate about these things. It's so real, and you just okay.
On that note,
Yeah.
what's so interesting? My daughter Shayna is living in Tel Aviv, and she was at one of the prayer places, not where they took down the mechitza.
Okay.
They had no mechitza, but
Yeah.
people on their own
Separated. Yeah.
into men, women. There was a couple of mix, but they separated themselves.
Baruch
And she
Hashem.
said, "What is everybody's problem? They come in saying this, or
You're right. No. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, but that's the Ma'irei Eish. That's the Ma'irei Eish against the Ma'irei Ar. That's it. There you go. It all boils down to that. You have the fire and you have the productive fire. Yeah. Okay, who bechinas tefillin? So this whole idea is tefillin. How is this tefillin? Because again, the whole idea of tefillin is the tznitzit samayach, to wake us up, to make us realize what's important in life, to make us realize that we're relying on the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's what tefillin does for us. It's supposed to do that for us if we contemplate about it, right? We have to think about it. Okay, ki muvan bekavanas harizal she'or hatfillin yoytzei ayedei tikunim hanasam ayedei kimas chatzos ayin sham. Right. So the Rebbe says, "Oh, Sasha, how are you?"
this is your safer. I thought you left here. Take it."
Okay, so Rav Nassan's bringing down the teaching from the Arizal, which you could find in the Pri-Eitz Chaim Shar Tefillin Perek Zion. So these are not the Rebbe's ideas. Okay, he's just drawing from the teachings of the Arizal. All right, and he says that if you want to feel the light of your tefillin, she'ora tefillin yoytze, if you want to feel that light going out of the tefillin, right? We said, where does the light come out of the tefillin? From the tatah, right? The bottom part of the tefillin is where the light exudes. The light exudes out of the bottom part of the tefillin. Oh, here. You want to just move? Oh, sit. Okay. The light exudes out of the bottom part of the tefillin. We learned, remember? And that's why we put the tefillin next to our skin. Right? It goes right on the skin. The skin of the animal goes right on our skin, and the light exudes into us somehow. Okay, but how does that work? Via us feeling the pain, via us feeling what we're lacking, getting up at Chatzos, feeling the lack of the Bais Hamikdash. Because all these problems, everything that goes on wrong in the world is really only because we don't have the Bais Hamikdash. Everything. Everyone getting sick and everyone getting this and that, and every problem is because we don't have the Bais Hamikdash.
And the Arabs were reminding us of that because they're saying this whole thing is about Alaska.
Yeah. That's the Moirei Or, the Moirei Eish. There is. No, but really, this is what it's all about, and it's so amazing how we're learning this right now. It's like I'm always amazed by it. I'm almost amazed how like this lesson fits in to what's going. I wish it didn't have to.
It should only be a little.
But listen, if we understand that we have to work on the Moirei Or.
I find this that I don't know that somehow if we don't get the lesson, Hashem seems to have our enemies show it to us in some kind of grotesque way.
Yeah. He'll coerce it that we figure it out. Yeah, he'll make us understand it. And he wants us to have shalom, and if we don't want to do it ourselves, it's okay. Well, no, I'm going to get. There's going to be shalom one way or another.
Yeah.
That's again showing the Rosh bias. But when we recognize that, we're by us talking about that now, we're giving power to the Meirei Or, right? We're giving power because we're showing the Rosh bias. Hashem is in control, right? It's not them. Unbelievable. I know. Canal. Ki al yedei hatzadikim v'akesherim shekomim b'chatzos laila u'misablim al churban Bais Hamikdash ayedei zeh chayzer nistaknin kol habechinas. How do you like that? Getting up and being misabel to mourn over the destruction of the Bais Hamikdash, to mourn over what we're lacking. Right? We just had Simchas Beis HaShoeva. The Gemara says if you didn't see the Simchas Beis HaShoeva, you never saw Simcha in your life. Right? You never saw, that's what Gemara says. Right? The Gemara says you never saw Simcha in your life. But we can never see Simcha in our life because we don't have the Bais Hamikdash. So if you really want to be happy, we need to daven for the Bais Hamikdash. We need the Bais Hamikdash. So how do you do that? You get up at night. And again, if you can't get up exactly at Chatzos, we spoke about that. We'll keep talking about it. Rabbi Nachman was very adamant. The Arizal says, Amen, that you get up exactly at Chatzos. Rabbi Nachman didn't have any patience. You just do what you got to do. Rabbi Nosson understood already patience in that way. Rabbi Nachman had a lot of patience. In that way, it's just what you have to do. Yeah. Rabbi Nosson said that, okay, listen, guys, if you can't get up exactly an hour later, and then a little later on, he said 2 hours later, then he said 3 hours later, because he saw the Chaber, he knew what he was dealing with, right? And that was then. That was 200 years ago, right? But then he said, just make sure you get up at least before Alois HaShachar. Get up at least before Alois HaShachar. And before Alois HaShachar, you can say Tikun Chatzos. You're allowed to say Tikun Chatzos until right before Alois HaShachar. As long as you start before Alois HaShachar, you can even go into Alois. If you start,
what time is that these days?
it's about 5:15.
5:07.
Today was 5:07.
5:07
today.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So I mean, if you get up at 4:30, if you could do that, 4 o'clock. Baruch Hashem, I got up at 4 o'clock today. Baruch Hashem. All right, we try. We have to try. That's what we have to do. You do what you can do, and to feel. But again, we're learning. You have to understand. You're not just reading the words. To try to understand, really, what are we feeling? Amen. What do we feel? We have to feel what we're lacking, and why we have these problems. In other words, why do we have? What's the cause of all of these problems? Because we don't feel. We think we're in Eretz Yisrael and that we have and we have Yerushalayim. But do we have Yerushalayim? Can we do what we want in Yerushalayim? No. So obviously we have a problem.
Do we have shalom?
No, obviously we have a problem, right? So, but this is according and based on the teaching the Arizal teaches us what we need to do. He teaches us honestly, okay. Okay, v'choizim is gavin b'chinas ha'ma'oirei or umeir or haroish bias, and that's how you can make powerful the light, the productive light, the ma'oirei or right light, light. Ma'ori or. That's that we could see, right? That you could be warmed by, right? When you feel that warm feeling, when you're connected with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? We just came out of the Sukkah, right? The Seilah Dei Menusa, right? So we have to think about that, right? And then that's okay. That's all part of the Mariyar. Shu Bechinas, and what is that? Arba Moichin Bechinas Pe'er. Okay, the Arba Moichin, right? So we have the 4 quadrants in the mind that we mentioned before, right? Connected to the 4 letters of Hashem's name, Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? Connected to the 4 colors in the eyes, right? And then we learned the other day this beautiful idea. You could take the word of Ofar and turn it into Pe'er. Take the Ofar, when you have fire, right? What does fire do? It makes ash, right? It makes Ofar, right? Makes ash, right? But you could turn the ashes into Pe'er, splendor, beauty, right? Is there a better way to, you have a better translation for Pe'er?
Splendor's good.
Splendor's good, you like that? Okay, Baruch Hashem. I was trying to think of what word to use. Yeah, okay, Baruch Hashem. Okay, Tlas Givonin the Eino Bas Ayin. Again, the 4 colors of the eye and the pupil. The Bas Ayin is the pupil of the eye. All right? Shekol Zehu Bechina Shem Hashem Shu Daled Oisius. Right? We said the 4 letters of Hashem's name. Okay, I'm just trying. It's a little bit. It's a little complicated, a little technical, but we'll try to talk it out so we understand it. Right? Basically, it's all 4s. Right? So we have again this one more time. So you have the 4 parts of the Tefillin, 4 parshias of the Tefillin, 4 letters of Hashem's name, 4 parts of the eye, right? All the 4s, okay? All the 4s. And then also you have the Arba Yesodis of the world, right? You have the Arba Yesodis, right? Right? The Arba, you have the Eish, the Mayim, the Ofar, and the Ruach, right? Those are the Yesodis of the world. We're trying to be Mesakin, the Yesodos, the foundations of the world, right? All right. Because bechinas Tefillin, this is all, you find this in Tefillin. All these things that we just learned, if you learn how to contemplate that, when you see a Tefillin, you could remember all of these things. And these things can remind you who's in charge of the world, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the Rosh Bais, right? He's the Rosh Bais. He's running the world. Like we said, Rabban Shalom is Mekai Mai Shel Olam, Beina Olam Mekai Mai. We learned that concept, remember? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the world. He is everything in the world. The world is not, he's not in the world, he is the world. Ein od milvadei. Emes. Okay. Ki tefillin heim bechina shem Hashem, k'may shekosav ro kol amei haaretz, ki shem Hashem nikra alecha v'yoru b'meka. Halavai will see that, right? All the guys who wear that tefillin, they run away, right? That's what the Gemara says, right? The nations of the world, they'll see a tefillin, and the Gemara says, what is that tefillin shel rosh? Why the tefillin shel rosh? Because it has the 4 parts in it, right? The 4 separate parshas in there, right? The shin with the 3, the shin with the 4, right? They'll see all of these things, and they'll realize who the rosh bias is. That we subscribe to the real general of the world, the real king of the world. Elu tefillin shebarosh. These are the tefillin shel rosh. Any questions so far? No? Wow. Nothing to say? Any comments? No? Okay. V'heim v'chinas pe'er. And these are the tefillin. We know the tefillin are the pe'er, right? When we say the bracha eita yisol b'sifara, right? So you're supposed to kiss the tefillin shel rosh, right? Vura is the tefillin shel yad. We'll learn about that soon, okay? And then we know that that's the pe'er, right? The tzaddikim are also known as the pe'er. In the 25th of this month is the Kedushas Levi's yard site. He's on the 25th. In 2 days, there'll be the Kedushas Levi's yard site. It's a Chus Yogan Leina. Rabbi Levi Yitzchak ben Sarah Sasha. Rabbi Nachman said that the Kedushas Levi was the pe'er. Rabbi Nachman felt it was Shabbos, it was Shalosh Shuddas time, and Rabbi Nachman said, "Oi!" He cried out, "The pe'er left the world," and he was talking about the Kedushas Levi. He was over there in Berdichev, right? He was over there in Breslov, and Berdichev is today by car is about a 6-hour ride. Okay, it's about a 6-hour ride by car. Okay, so he's in his Bais Medrash over there in Breslov, and he felt that he already sensed that the Pe'er left the world. So the tzaddik is also known as the Pe'er, right? The tzaddik is Shabbos, right? The Zohar said, okay, whatever. Okay, I want to go. Okay, Klolius Hagavonim De'ena, and those are the Klolius, all of the colors, all the colors of the beauty of the eyes, all the colors of the eyes. Ki Tefillin Nikroyim Per K'Moshe Kosev Percha Chavosh Alecha, right? That the tefillin is a splendor. K'may Shamer B'Seinu Zal. V'heim B'chinas Gevolim De'ena B'chinas L'Taitafos Bein Einecha. Oh, how you like that? So the tefillin in the Torah. How do we know tefillin? L'Taitafos Bein Einecha. Put those phylacteries between your eyes. Right? That's what it literally means, right? And that's why you had the tzedukkim. They used to wear that tefillin literally between their eyes because they didn't have Torah Shabbat Peh, right? It says we put them between us. So they used to wear the tefillin. They put the tefillin over. I don't know how they saw anything. Never. Okay, so again, why the toughest beinei necha? Because again, your eyes have the four, right? The four colors of the eyes connect you to the four quadrants of the brain. 4 letters of Hashem, 4 compartments of the tefillin, 4 parshiyas. Okay? That's why the Torah is another reason why it's called the Tafos Beinei Necha. I think Rashi says over there it's an African word or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rashi mentions it's an African word.
Yeah?
Yeah. If you look at the Rashi on the pasuk, yeah. It's amazing how Rashi
Yeah,
knew it.
how did he figure out this?
How did Rashi figure Rashi? Yeah. Okay. Veheim bechinas roish bias. And then again, we're going to keep focusing on this in this whole lesson that the Rebbeinu Shalom is the roish bias, Bereshis. You hear this, Sasha? Bereshis is roish bias. How do you like that? Yeah, Bereshis, the roish bias, and he created
the world.
Yes. It's amazing. Bechinas aparshiyah sheim bechinas malin es abatim, the 4 parshas that fill the house, the 4 compartments of the tefillin, right? Beinei necha, the taitafos beinei necha, taitafos einecha, eyes, 4 colors of the eyes, 4 sections of the brain, 4. It's like we're doing the Chad Gad, you know. All the 4s, right? All right. Anyway, any questions on this? There's a lot of information today. Right?
It's a lot.
But it all makes you can remember it because you just remember all of the 4s, right? It's nice because it's very simple. We started out with the Chachma Bina Das. The Das goes to Chachma Bina Chesed Gevura 4, right? And then we had the 4 letters of Hashem's name, right? The 4 quadrants of the mind, the 4 compartments of the tefillin, the 4 parshiyas of the tefillin, the 4 colors of the eyes, right?
4 points of the shin.
4 points of the shin. There we go. You see, very good. Okay, all of this you get if you get up at chatzos. You want to feel this. You want to sense this. You want to experience this. You have to get up. You have to realize sleep is overrated. Sleep is really, really overrated. It really, truly is. I'm going to tell you, really, the days I sleep more, I'm more tired.
Thank you.
I really am. Those days, I find myself more lethargic than the days I sleep less. Do you find that too, Sasha? It's amazing, right? So what does that mean? Sleep is overrated.
I mean, as long as I get quality sleep, then it's totally enough.
Does everyone agree with that too, right? More sleep makes you more lethargic. And it's proven to me in my life. How about you, Mordechai?
Yeah.
You agree with that? Okay. All right, good. Kimas chatzos. Va'afilu mi she'eino zoicha lokom b'chatzos. But now even one that doesn't have that ability to get up at chatzos, for whatever reason, Alpha Pichein, still, Kol Ar Kedushas Tefillin Meichin Shel Kol Yisrael Nimshachim Aydei Atzadik Emes Shein Bechinas Roish Bayis. The tzaddikim are connected to the Rosh Bayis. Right? We said that the Tefillin shel Rosh are connected to the tzaddik, right? The tzaddik. Rebbe, Rosh B'nai Yisrael. Remember we said the last time? Rosh B'nai Yisrael. Right? He's the Rosh B'nai Yisrael, and the Rosh B'nai Yisrael is connected to the Rosh Bayis. How do you like that? Isn't that nice? Rosh B'nai Yisrael is connected to the Rosh Bayis. All right, and that's the tzaddikim. So again, if we're connected to the tzaddikim, then the tzaddikim are connected to the Rabbeinu Shalom, and especially we learn the teachings of the tzaddikim. So that also helps us out to help us to. But if you really want to feel what we're learning, you really have to say the Tikun Chatzos. But not just say the Tikun Chatzos, you have to contemplate what are you saying and what are we really lacking in the world? What are we really lacking? Why do we have these problems? All because we don't have the Bais Hamikdash. All because we don't have the Bais Hamikdash. Unbelievable. She'oiram nimshach al kol Yisrael ayedei hakamen bechatzos. Okay, so the Arizal, again, Rav Nosson, none of these are Rav Nosson's ideas. He's qualifying everything based on the teachings in Arizal. He tells you where you could see it in the teachings in Arizal. So if you think any of these concepts are a little bit out there, and you don't know where he came up with them, so Rav Nosson will tell you exactly where they're from. Okay, all right. So, but again, you could if you can be connected to the tzaddikim. We learned the last lesson in Vav, Riyas Pnei Tzaddik, right? Riyas Pnei Tzaddik. When you see the tzaddik, that causes that it's night samayach, right? And we said we can see the tzaddik based on learning the teachings of the tzaddikim, right? Because the nefesh ruach neshama is in the teachings of the tzaddik. Right, when you're learning the teachings of the tzaddikim, you're experiencing the tzaddik himself. Okay. Because the main beauty and splendor that we have in Klal Yisrael in general and in individuals, both, Haim. Hatfilin hakedoshim shemaniach kol echad b'chol yom sheim bechinas ar apanim. We all Baruch Hashem, we get to put on our tefillin, right? We all put on our tefillin, Baruch Hashem, right? Well, we got to put on a tefillin extra day today, right? The rest of the world is not putting in. The rest of the world is not putting on their tefillin today, right? Now see, we got special benefits for that too, right? Baruch Hashem. The Ora Panim. That's the Ora Panim. Okay? Sha'anu mamshichin aleinu Ora das v'tznitz hamaychin hamitiyim lahakir as Beireini is Baruch Shemai. For us to recognize the Rebbeinu Shalom. Basically, the whole lesson is Bereish is Rosh Bayis. Rebbe, Rosh B'nai Yisrael. Connect to the tzaddik. You connect to the tzaddik is connected to the Rosh Bayis. And when we learn the teachings of the tzaddikim, we connect to the tzaddikim, we're connecting to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Okay? Liyos nichlo b'shem Hashem, to be included in the Shem Hashem. What is the Shem Hashem in the Yud Kei Vav Kei? Right? Again, the Tefillin are the four, right? The four letters of Yud Kei Vav Kei, four compartments, right? The Shin with the four, right? All of the things with four, right? Shanu misparin bayis baruch v'hu mispar banu. This is beautiful. So we take pride in the Rebbeinu Shalom, and the Rebbeinu Shalom has pride in us.
It's from the Anim's Mirrors.
Yeah. But then he's going to bring from the Gemara. Right. Mispar banu. Shehem bechinas hatfilin shel Hashem yisbarach shemisoyrim kishanu misatrin ba'teres tferes hatfilin shelanu. When we dawn the tefillin upon ourselves, right? When we put the tefillin on ourselves, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has His tefillin on. Whatever that means, we can only say these things because this is what Chazal teach us. Okay, this is not, we can't, because we have to understand the Rebbeinu Shalom is not physical at all. So what this means, He has tefillin, again, it's just for us to understand there's such a concept. I don't know what it is. I don't think anyone can explain it. But again, the Gemara says that Hashem wears tefillin, right? Okay, whatever that means, right? And we learned yesterday, right, that we said that Moshe Rabbeinu knew the Rebbeinu Shalom panim el panim, right? So the Torah says, panim el panim. Okay, right?
Look, we only have the language we have.
And we work with that, and we work with what we have, right? We work with what we have, and we even have the 10 spheres that we have. It doesn't. That's only attributes of Hashem. It's not Hakadosh Baruch Hu himself. It's only his attributes, so we can have an inkling to somewhat connected to Hashem. But we learned the concept that if anyone thinks that they're really connected to Hashem, they're really deluding themselves, because Hakadosh Baruch Hu is infinite and we are all finite. So how can we really have a connection to Hashem? We can try to emulate by doing by connecting to the midos of Hashem. We can try to connect to Hashem, but don't think we have any connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's infinite. And if you just try to understand it, just look in the Torah. You see how the Torah is infinite. How you can't master Torah, right? Even Moshe Rabbeinu, he knew Moshe Rabbeinu panim el panim. But Rabbi Akiva is darshaning the tagim on the Torah, and Hashem, what's that? Right? The Gemara tells us that, right? Right? Moshe Rabbeinu was trying to understand, what is this? So you see, if Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know all Torah, then can anyone say they know all Torah? Can anyone say that? Right? No, like come Navi can Moshe, right? There's no Navi ever like Moshe Rabbeinu. But he didn't know. He was baffled by something. Well, what is he teaching? He asked Hashem, what is he teaching? Oh, that's your Torah. He's teaching your Torah. Yeah. It's amazing. Mamash, if you think about it, it's fascinating. It's really fascinating. Okay, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Azai gam Hashem Yisborach kiviyachol meniach kiviyachol, he says. See the word here? Then HaKadosh Baruch kiviyachol meniach tefillin. HaKadosh Baruch kiviyachol. I don't know, how do you say that to translate kiviyachol in English? I have no idea.
As it were.
So to speak.
As it were.
So to speak? So to speak?
Yeah, okay, commercial cousin.
So to speak. Okay, good.
That's how they have it here. They have it, so to speak, here.
So to speak. Fine. Shekosev bahem hisparusoi banu bechinas ki mi goy gadol umi goy gadol. In other words, who's a great nation like my nation? This is what HaKadosh takes. It takes pride in Klal Yisrael that we put on our tefillin. You see that? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so happy that we put on our tefillin. But if we could put on our tefillin and we can get up at Chatzos and we can be misabel of the Bais Hamikdash and really feel how special the tefillin are, could you imagine how much more benefit we can do? How much more that experience will be? In other words, we're doing it anyway. Right? We're putting on the tefillin anyway. So how about we feel the benefit of what these tefillin really are, the power of the tefillin, how the light shines through the tefillin into us, and it shows that that's the ma'orei or, that's the ma'orei, that the Rebbeinu Shalom is the roish bias. Hashem is the roish bias. If you want to feel it, this is what we have to do. All right. And again, let's just. I want to say one more thing, okay? And look, if you can say, tefillin, if you say the Tikun Leil, a lot of people, it's a little long. If you say Tikun Rachel, Tikun Leil, right? It's a little bit long. If you can't say the whole thing, so say what you can say. In Yiddishkeit, it's not all or none. It's not all or none, right? Whatever you get in, you got in. That's great, right? So don't say, well, if I can't do the whole thing, I won't do anything. No. Do what you can do.
Because there's all these pieces afterwards. There's Petach
Of course, you can keep... So you do what you can do. You do what you... But the main thing is always when you do it with quality. Right? You put your eichos, you want quality. You want it to be really... You want to feel what you're saying. Say 2 paragraphs instead of saying nothing, but mamish feel what you're saying. Right? What?
I think it's an important understanding. You do what you can do.
Exactly. And
otherwise, it's like...
No, it's a Yetzer Hara. No, it's a
right.
Yetzer Hara that tells you, listen, you're not going to get credit for the whole thing, if you don't do the whole thing. And since you can't do the whole thing, so why bother do anything? Because you're wasting your time. Nonsense. Nonsense. You're not wasting it. Any word you say, any good word you say is treasure, is a treasure. Any word. So how could you say if you say a beautiful psukim? There's such beautiful psukim. Beautiful. And if you're saying them and you're trying to feel the words and you're saying mamish beautiful word, how can you think that way? But then again, that's what we see. It's always the Yetzer Hara that tries to, and that's what we learned about the machshavas, right? You can only think about one thing at a time, right? Because the Yetzer Hara is going to tell you, Rav Nosson taught us that real good before he gives us this thing about chatzos again, right? Because the Yetzer Hara is like, you can't get up. What are you doing? Right? Change that thought. I can. Maybe yesterday I couldn't get up, but maybe today I can. You have to change the thought. You understand how Rav Nosson, he gives us the tools and he prepares us. He says, and he went through that lesson a lot. You understand this? Do you understand this thing? You can't think of two things at once, right? Unbelievable. Okay, so he brings this down from Masech the Brachas. Okay, v'chol zeh zoichen aydei atzadik yisoid olam shayodai kol iskar v'sisrol Hashem Yisbarach. And all of this happens through the tzaddikim, because if we didn't have the tzaddikim teaching us this stuff, how would we ever know it? How would we ever know these concepts? How could we ever know these concepts, what the tefillin really are? And even though we think, let us not, or any of us, walk away from this thinking we know what tefillin is. Because even what we're learning here is only a tip of the iceberg, a tip of this iceberg, really what the tefillin are. But at least we have something. Right? We'll walk away with something. The tefillin are infinite also. Right? So we have to understand that every mitzvah is infinite. Right? The tefillin is, so we have whatever we have, but at least we can grapple with something. Right? It's better than having nothing, right? Okay. But the tzaddikim are very hidden from us. And sometimes when we see the teachings and we listen to the teachings of the tzaddikim, sometimes we think, they're foreign teachings. What's he talking about? That's what he means. It's hidden from us, right? Sometimes we think, you hear the words of the tzaddikim, they're telling us these things, and what does he know? Right? What does he know? The tzaddik, he knows. What does he know? That's what we're talking about, right? Now, when the tzaddikim, they tell us the information, it's the truth. It's the true information. We have to know that. And if you ever hear, you learn something that it seems strange, you have to daven to Hashem. Hey, let me please understand what this means, right? Because it's not that they're wrong. No, they're right. They're right. But we know it's because of our shortcomings. Let's put it like that. Our shortcomings, we can't see it. So then we have to daven to Hashem. Can I please see this? Can I please understand what the tzaddik is telling me? Right? This concept seems so strange. It seems so strange, so foreign to me. So daven to the Rebbeinu Shalom, let him daven. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, let me have a part of this also. Let me feel this. Let me be a part of this. Ki akshav al yedei churban Bais Hamikdash. Here we go. See that? Because we have the churban Bais Hamikdash. And again, that's why we have all the problems in the world. We could say this again and again. Every problem that goes on in the world, that any problem at all, is because we don't have the Bais Hamikdash. That's why anything happens wrong. Anything. Barichas hagolas shemispashet umisgaber asitra acha ma'oid lahalim or atzadik. Right? Like you were saying before, they're saying the whole thing they're saying is because of the Har Bayis, right? Har Bayis. They want to hide everything, right? They make all these problems are because you want to go on Har Bayis.
But he says the departing of the Siddiqim is twice as severe.
Yeah, no, we're gonna say we didn't. No, you went ahead.
I'm ahead. Okay.
You went ahead.
Oh, I see.
No, you went ahead. Sorry.
Okay,
We didn't get there yet.
Okay.
Right. So we said that the Bais Hamikdash is terrible. The fact that the Bais Hamikdash is gone, right? That's really where all the things are. But it says when a tzaddik leaves the world, it's double worse than the Bais Hamikdash. Why? Why is that? Because the tzaddik is what brings you close to Hashem. And the Bais Hamikdash brought us close to Hashem also. Right? But the Bais Hamikdash was a building. Right? It was a building. Right? And again, you had to, if you just came to the Bais Hamikdash and you didn't prepare yourself, so it'd be like when you put on your tefillin and you don't prepare yourself. Right? You don't feel it. right? There were people that went to the Bais Hamikdash and they didn't necessarily feel anything because they didn't prepare. They didn't. It didn't mean anything, unfortunately, right? That's. But now, when you have a tzaddik that brings us closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is really what the Bais Hamikdash is supposed to do, and then he leaves the world, and the possibilities of him continuing to teach cease, right? He can't do it anymore. He left the world. So that's why that's double worse. That's why it's double worse. Okay, but Baruch Hashem, yes, you want to say something, Mordechai?
We're talking about a lot about tzaddikim
Yeah.
and saying the names of the tzaddikim
Mm-hmm.
and learning from the tzaddikim. Is that possible? Instead of saying, it's like we're doing
No, on
something.
one-
We're saying Tehillim and we're saying
On one aspect, look. On one aspect, the Gemara says is absolutely right. It's double worse the absence of the tzaddik. But when the tzaddikim leave us their teachings, right, and we have the
Right.
teachings, and we can study the teachings, right? Baruch Hashem, we have a Shas. Baruch Hashem, we have a Shulchan Aruch, right? Right.
so what I'm,
Right. We have the Ramah, right? Rabbi Yosef Cairo, right? We have a Shulchan Aruch. Right.
right. So is one better?
We have
to
even
be
a
doing,
kids Shulchan
like-
Aruch, Gansfried, right? We have we have beautiful stories. We have things to study.
Right. So
So when we
should
study
I-
them, those tzaddikim are alive.
right. So, is it better to study tzaddikim or to say Tehillim? Like in this situation,
Well, when you say Tehillim, you're connecting to David Melech Mashiach,
right?
right? David Melech Mashiach. David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim, right? David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim, right? But again, when you say Tehillim, again, the tzaddikim taught us the beauty in Tehillim, right? Because again, you wouldn't know it, right?
Right.
We studied a lot about Tehillim, right? We studied about, and it says that David HaMelech's Sfasav is the David voice Bekever, right? When you say the words of Tehillim, right? It's an amazing thing, right? So whatever that means, I have no idea what this. Again, I'm telling you what it is. But we can imagine something's going on. I don't necessarily understand what's going on, but I know something is going on. Something great is going on. I don't know what it is, but I believe it's something great. That's what it's all about, right? No one can, because no one really understands. Right? We do what we can, we put in our effort, and we believe, and we ask Hashem to please accept it. That's when we say the Kaddish, we say Tiskabel to Leisam, there's in the whole basis all. Right? Tiskabel. That's one of the most important parts of the whole Kaddish. Because I just finished davening, hey Hashem, accept it. Accept it. Or else why did I just say this all? Right? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Please accept what we just davened. Please accept it. Wow. Unbelievable. Well, thank you for bringing that up because it's very, very important, right? Okay, now he says, "V'zeh bechinas kosha silukon shel tzadikim kiflayim kichurban Bais Hamikdash." Right, when the tzaddik is when they leave the world, when they exit the world, when the tzaddikim is double, but worse than the destruction of the Bais Hamikdash, like we just explained. K'moshe Kosev, l'chein hinni Yosef lahafli es hamazeh hafle v'fela v'ovda chachmas chachmav chachmav yeah v'chinas nevainav tistaser. Right, that the Kodesh Baruch Hu. He's just bringing the idea that the whole thing is something so terrible, right? It's a big pell, it's a big wonder, right? That when we lose the chachma of the, like we don't have now the chacham, and we don't have the neviim, right? We don't have the chacham, we don't have the neviim, unfortunately, and then how terrible that is for us. Okay. And that's what they mean that when the tzaddikim again, when the tzaddik leaves the world and we don't and we and the ma'orei or is put down because the tzaddik is connected to the ma'orei or. You want to say something, Eli?
Yeah, we lost both the chachma and the bina.
Yeah.
Right. So, because what a tzaddik does is he makes it accessible to you. You can go to the Beit Hamikdash. It's a wall. You go to the wall, right? You will get whatever you get, but the tzaddik makes it accessible. See, because he has Bina as well as Chachma, right? He gives you, and that when both of those are gone, it's a tremendous loss. Tremendous loss.
It's a tremendous loss, yeah.
Remember one time I asked a Russia friend,
Yeah.
I spoke with him, and I said, it's a terrible question to ask. 120 years, you're not here. What do I do?
And what did he
He
say?
looked at me, and I asked him at first, I said, first of all, do I rely on you too much? He says, yeah, you do. Which I thought was fascinating. But then he said, when I asked him this question, he said, what do you mean, what do you do? God will help you. Right? Who taught Avram of you? What? I'm not here. That's just silly. Right? He just looked at me like cockeyed, like what kind of a question is it?
Yeah, but
But
yeah.
at the same time, it's a real question because from my mind, that's what made it accessible. That was real for me. And so that question still,
What was the question?
I asked Reb Usher friend, when you're not here anymore.
Yes, who?
Reb Usher friend. When you're not here anymore, what do I do? And he said, what do you mean? God will teach you. Avram, who taught Avram? Avinu. Who taught what? It's like he was saying, I'm not. Don't let me get in the way, right, of going to God either, right? Because that's another problem can be with the tzaddik. But the fact is that when the tzaddik is addressed properly, he gives tremendous access. And so
Tremendous
when you don't have
access.
that,
Excellent,
and when
excellent.
you don't have it, you
No,
feel
excellent,
lost.
Ellie. That's excellent, and thank you for that story. It was wonderful.
Right.
No, really, but right, but we're learning here that but we still have the teachings of the tzaddikim, and they still are alive.
Yeah.
The tzaddikim are not physically alive, but they're alive. Sometimes even more. It says that the tzaddikim are gadol yosem misasim shemimachayim, because when they leave the world, they can make so many more tikkunim in the next world than they can in this world.
The advocate for us.
They can that's right. They can be the advocate for us. They're advocates for us here, but there's only so much they can do when they're flesh and blood.
And he said that in another conversation too.
Yeah, of course. No, naturally. That's what the Melitz Yosher, right?
He's doing that for you now.
Yeah, betach. Of course, all the tzaddikim, all of them, all of them, all the tzaddikim. Okay. Now he says, okay, Alkain. Ikra tikkun adei kimas chatzos ki mi sheroitze lochlus al atzmai. If anyone wants to take pity on themselves, you hear this? You want to take pity on yourself. They're not telling you to take pity on somebody else, take pity on other Jews. No, on yourself. If you want to take pity on yourself, because you see the bitterness that you have in your own life. Right? How distant you are. Bitterness, he means how distant you are from Hashem, how distant you are from your tefillah being what it could be, from your limud HaTorah, what it could be, your hisbodedus, what it could be, and so on. Right? Tzarich livkois ma'oid al oitzam ha'aloma hazoi shenis aleim ara tzadika emes b'aveneseinu arab. So we have to really cry, and we have to feel that what's lacking from us, what's hidden from us, what was concealed from us, because of our shortcomings. That's why it was hidden from us, and that's why the Rebbe says you always have to daven to HaKadosh Baruch for everything. And the Rebbe says you take the lessons and turn them into a tefillah. Take your lesson and turn it into a tefillah. By the way, that's where Likutey Tefillas came from, right? Likutey Tefillas, Reb Noson's beautiful work. It's one of the most beautiful writings. The poetry of his word. Do you ever look at it? It's poetry, really. It's such gorgeous writing. It's unbelievable.
Is that the 50th gate?
Yeah, the 50th gate. Yeah. That's in English. It's called the 50th gate. Yeah. But it's called the Likutey Tefillot, right? It's a compilation, the collection of Amen. Of the Tefillah. But that's really what it's all about. Okay. Shenisraba machloikis ma'oid. The machloikis comes up, right? The disagreements come up. Is this not what we're living through? Come on.
Which disagreement do they talk about here?
In life, disagreements. Like it says, these are all the birth pangs of Mashiach. What?
It should come quick.
Amen. Well, we're in the birthing process right now.
Well,
It's a long birth. Oy, please Hashem. Oy. Shehu hakategoria bein talmidei chachamim k'may shomer b'seinu zal shayidei ze arichas hagolos b'avneseinu harabim v'ze iker churban Bais Hamikdash. So what does it mean? We learned this idea about the when there's a machlokes between the tzaddikim, right? Why did we learn? Why is there machlokes between tzaddikim? Do you remember what we learned?
For Shemayim.
We
Help
learned.
us understand and learn and.
No, right. In other words, we say like this. Sometimes we don't. We have every morning. We supposed to get. We get every morning a new aura each day, something special. But sometimes we don't attack. We don't connect to that. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to connect to that, and sometimes we're not connected to Hashem. He wants us. So what he does is, he makes a machlokes between tzaddikim. Now they're only arguing not because they want to argue between themselves. They're only arguing to help you. Why? Because you have to learn that it's elu ve'elu divrei elikim chayim, right? Both these and those are that of the living God. Both elu ve'elu divrei elikim chayim. What does that mean? That means when you're learning you learn any daf in Gemara. Right?
Yeah, the door is all. It's all that. It's all more.
It's constantly there's a anything. You don't open up a page that there's no machlokes, right? You don't open up a page. But really, even the one that's wrong is not wrong. We just don't paskin like that one.
Right.
You can't say he's wrong. See, that's what people don't understand, right? There's two members in the Gemara, two Tanoim, two Mamarayim are saying something, and they're disagreeing. So we paskin like this one, not like that one. That doesn't mean he's wrong. See, we understand, let's say, a court case here in the world, right? When there's a court case, right? So either the plaintiff or the defendant won, right? Either one, and the other one lost. But in Torah, it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. In Torah, everyone wins if he's doing it l'shem shemayim. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu has this machlokes between the tzaddikim. Why? To change things in my mind so I could rethink things through. This is all in part of Hilchos Tefillin. Again, because that it's Noitzut Samayach. To realign things in our minds. To realign things. And that's when he brought in the next lesson was Riyas Pnei Tzaddik, right? Right? See the Tzaddik, right? See the Tzaddik. So if you see the Tzaddik and you can benefit by seeing the Tzaddik, they don't have to fight. You don't need the machlokes. You don't need the machlokes. Unbelievable. And in the Gemara, when it says Teku, that's amazing, right? Because Gemara says, I don't even know. They're both so right. They're both so right. They're both so right. We just have to wait for Mashiach. We have to wait for Eli Navi. We don't know. We don't even know how to paskin. We have no idea. It's beautiful. Now, when you understand this and then you're learning and you see the Gemara says Teku. Wow. Wow.
There's a wonderful book came out this year, and David Sampson wrote the Sefer HaTeku. He went through all the tekus, and elucidated went through all of them.
Ah, beautiful. Wow, Yofi, wow.
Came out this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing piece of work.
No, just so nice that you mentioned it, but really, to really understand that concept, and that's why we have, okay. All this happens is caused because of our sins and our shortcomings. The more the pagam that we do, that we cause mipnei chateinu kalina me'atzeinu, right? Like we said in the Musaf, right? We just said it, right? You'll be saying that soon, right? Right? The guys are the guys in Chul, right? They'll be saying that again today. Mipnei chateinu kalina me'atzeinu, right? V'chein miskaba aloma chas v'sholom ulahepich kol ma shemeisem el liboy livchois. Al zeh loshav levakesh me Hashem yisbarach sheyisakin kol zeh aydei zeh mizgala halama. Daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and if you want that hiddenness to be revealed, you want to see the Rebbeinu Shalom, you want to know that the Rebbeinu Shalom is the Roish Bias. You want to have more Ma'irei Or in your life. You want to have that, so daven to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Don't think that, hey, well, I don't know what the Rebbe is talking about here. Roish Bias and Rabbi is Roish B'nai Yisrael. What is all of this? What is all this done? What's he saying? You don't. It doesn't mean anything to you, so daven. Hashem, I want to understand what the Rebbe is saying here. Because I know it's true. I know it's emes. It's because of my shortcomings, I can't see the beauty in it. It's only because of my shortcomings. So we have to daven to the Rebbe Hashem, beg the Rebbe Hashem to let me feel this too. Let me have a part of this also. Let me experience this. Pe'er again is the opposite of offer, right? The offer, you change the offer into pe'er. You change the nega into oneg, right? With the same concepts. All these concepts are the same idea. Then the light of the tefillin can come out and we can see and feel the light of the tefillin in the morning. So how do you do it? Get up. Realize we're lacking the Bais Hamikdash. Realize that that's where all the problems came from. Realize that we don't have the tzaddikim, but we have the teachings of the tzaddikim. And having the teachings of the tzaddikim are just almost as good as having the tzaddik. Almost as good. Why? Because again, you have the nefesh, ruach, neshama of the tzaddik in the teachings. You don't just have his words. You have his whole life experience is in the words. All the kedusha, the tahara, all of the Torah. It's all part of those words. It's all in there. Each word is soaking with all the beauty, with all the purity. Each word. And if you recognize that, how much more so that can be, how much more you can benefit. And if you want to feel the light of the tefillin, so you have to remember who's the Rosh Bais, right? And how do you feel to know who the Rosh Bais is? By getting up at night, saying the Tikun Leil Chatzos. Okay? Any questions?
No.
We should hear good news for Klal Yisrael.
Okay.
And we should see the coming of Mashiach, the Korah B'Yameinu Mamash.
Amen.